Thank God, we are entering an uplifting week, a sanctified week, a week in which falls a great, awesome, and exalted day, the Yahrtzeit of the holy Or HaHaim. The holy Or HaHaim, our teacher and rabbi's soul, is so deeply connected to this righteous man, so much so that he walks in the light of this Tzadik. All the members of the holy community are careful and diligent every single week to complete, finish, and study with full and clear understanding as much as possible the teachings of this great and exalted Tzadik, the holy Or HaHaim. And when there is the Yahrtzeit of a Tzadik, the day of a righteous person's passing, it is a very great and powerful thing from which one can draw salvation, mercy, and righteousness from heaven. All great things can be attained on the Yahrtzeit of a Tzadik, on the day when a righteous person passes away and departs from this world. We know that on the Yahrtzeit of the Tzadik, the Holy One, blessed be He, rules in heaven according to the opinion of the Tzadik. This is something we know from many stories and many cases that our rabbis have told us. On the Yahrtzeit of the Tzadik, even though throughout the year the halacha is not according to his opinion, his view is not accepted, and the consensus in heaven is not like his, on his Yahrtzeit, on the day he passed from this world, he is honored. His opinion is taken and elevated above all others, and it is made the ruling view, the one by which every matter is decided and measured. And the entire Torah of the Or HaHaim HaKadosh is filled with finding merit for the people of Israel, with compassion for the people of Israel, with a desire to do good for the people of Israel. That is why this is a day, this is a time, this is a week when anyone can bring upon themselves goodness, salvation, mercy, and all great things. We know that when the books of Chassidut wanted to speak and wanted to bring a parable about the power of the Tzadik and how thanks to the Tzadik everyone is sustained and everyone receives livelihood, abundance, and salvations in all areas of life that people need, the righteous would use the example of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, about whom the Holy One, blessed be He, proclaimed and said through a heavenly voice that every single day a voice would go out, so our sages say, which would declare, the world is sustained only because of Chanina, my son. The entire world is sustained because of a single righteous person, because of one man called Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, whom the Holy One, blessed be He, describes and says, he is Chanina, my son. This is the example our sages give of a righteous person who is the path, the way through which all abundance and all things descend into the world. For the sake of Chanina, my son, said Rabbi, the Lord is good, the Holy One. This is not just for his sake, but rather shvil, a path, a way, a conduit through which all abundance, all mercy, and all goodness descend to the world through that righteous person. For the sake of Chanina, my son, for the sake of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. But why is that really? We once wondered to ourselves, why is that really? After all, there were many righteous people, many holy individuals, many people of great spiritual stature for whose sake the world could have been sustained. Why specifically Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa? And even in other generations, there were certainly righteous people in whose merit the world was sustained, who had so many merits, who had so many good qualities, that because of them the entire world was sustained. And yet we do not know that the Holy One, blessed be He, revealed to us, or that a heavenly voice would go out and say that for their sake, because of them, in their merit, the whole world was sustained. So why specifically for Shananiah, my son, Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa? Why did he merit this privilege? Why did he attain this great level that the entire world is sustained because of him? So we explained and said, the Mishnah and the Gemara at the beginning of Tractate Sanhedrin say that according to the words of the Torah, according to how the law is decided in the Torah, whether it is capital cases or monetary cases, they must be investigated and they must be examined thoroughly. What does this mean? The Torah states, one law for you, so all rules for capital cases apply to monetary cases. When the temple stood, there were Sanhedrins of 23 and of 71 who judged difficult and complex matters among the people of Israel. Their doors were open wide, like the entrance to the world, and they possessed the sharpest and most refined intellects in order to reach their goal, to understand the meaning of the matter and to arrive at the truth. And they judged many matters. They judged capital cases, such as if someone killed another person, or if someone desecrated the Sabbath when the temple stood, they would execute him with the punishment designated for him. The person would be brought to the court, and the two witnesses who saw him commit the forbidden act, the same two witnesses who had warned him and told him that this act was prohibited, would come to the court and testify, this person did such and such a bad deed. The court would investigate, trying to challenge the witnesses. They would interrogate, question, distort their statements, and cross-examine their testimonies in all sorts of ways to see if they were truly genuine witnesses and not just people trying to falsely accuse the person on trial, using the court as a tool to kill that person and escape justice, as if had they gone and killed him themselves, they would have been caught and executed. The court would investigate and question thoroughly. And according to the Torah, this applies also to monetary cases. If someone lends money to another and there are witnesses who testify about it, they must be thoroughly questioned and examined. Where were you? How many of you were there? From where did you see it? Questioning and investigating very thoroughly. Rabbi Chanina taught, as cited in Sanhedrin, that despite Torah law requiring full inquiry in every case, we are lenient and waive these cross-examination requirements in monetary cases. If someone comes and claims that he lent money to another person, that he gave money, that he lent money to someone else, and he brings witnesses who testify to this, the witnesses are not interrogated too extensively. Witnesses confirm they understand the matter, are asked of their willingness to testify, their testimony is accepted, and it ends without extensive cross-examination. Why? So as not to close the door to lenders. What does that mean? If a person who lends money to another knows that the witnesses he brings for the loan will be interrogated, their statements twisted and cross-examined, and attempts will be made to trip them up, then he will say, why should I get involved in this? I could lend money to someone else, the witnesses will be tripped up, the court will trip them up with their tough questions, and I won't get my money back. Why should I get involved in this at all? Therefore, in order not to close the door to borrowers so that people seeking a loan will be able to find one, and so that lenders will not be deterred by the fact that the court will interrogate the witnesses too much, and in the end they won't come, and ultimately the lenders won't lend to them, they said that in monetary cases we do not ask or investigate extensively. They come with two people, see that they know what the matter is about, accept their statements, and do not ask or investigate further. Who is this Rabbi Chanina? So generally, when Rabbi Chanina is mentioned anonymously in the Gemara, the rule we have is that it refers to Rabbi Chanina bar Chama, who was either the son or grandson of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. And what do we know? That if there is a certain reasoning, a certain opinion, that whatever a person's son does, or a person's grandson does, or anyone from a person's descendants does, it is considered as if he himself did it. If one of a person's descendants performs a mitzvah, it is considered as if the person himself fulfilled the mitzvah. If a person commits a transgression, his grandfather also suffers in heaven from that transgression. Whatever concerns descendants also concerns the grandparents. Thus, the grandson Rabbi Chanina bar Chama's view is attributed to Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, making it effectively the opinion of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. The law follows his opinion on earth, that one does not inquire or investigate in monetary matters, so too is the law in heaven. What does it mean in heaven? That when a person prays, when a person asks the Holy One, blessed be He, for money, for sustenance, for things needed to live, he is not questioned or investigated. They do not ask whether he has merits or not, whether he has received too much or not enough. An ordinary person who turns to the Holy One, blessed be He, who prays and asks God for mercy, asks God for livelihood, they do not question or investigate him too much. They give to him. Why? So as not to lock the door in the face of borrowers? There are people who have no merits. They borrow in. Money from the Holy One, blessed be He, is given on the basis that they will repay God with merits, mitzvot, and good deeds that they will do. That righteous person expressed this reasoning, that righteous person, this spiritual perspective, which was established as halakha, Jewish law, in accordance with his view in the land, belonged to him. He opened the gates of heaven for anyone who asks for livelihood and for anyone who asks for money. Therefore, it was specifically his opinion that was revealed, and it is specifically about him that it is said that he sustains the entire world through his deeds. What deeds? Through the halachic perspective of his grandson, which also belongs to him. Similarly, the holy Or HaHaim, who always advocated merit, spoke well and taught good about the people of Israel in all his books. On the day of his Yahrtzeit and in the days close to his Yahrtzeit, the opinion and the halakha follow him to do good for every single person. And how much faith, how much strength, how much clarity of thought one can aspire to through the books of that righteous person. One of the righteous men who lived a few generations ago wrote a book called Kedushat Aharon. He was the grandson of the Rebbe of Ruzhin, and he asks a very powerful question. He says, if we look at the words with which the Holy Or HaHaim opens his books, we know that the Holy Or HaHaim was a person of tremendous humility and always warned and that anyone who studies his books should do so solely for the sake of heaven, not in order to gain honor nor for any personal interest. And yet the Holy Or HaHaim, despite all his humility, in certain places revealed where he received from and from which exalted sources he drew and merited his words of Torah. How does the Holy Or HaHaim open his book? The Holy Or HaHaim writes, the gates of heaven were opened and he beheld visions of God. Can you perhaps give us the exact words? The gates. The gates of heaven were opened, and he beheld a vision of God. Words like these, more or less, are what the Holy Or HaHaim writes. That's how he writes. The gates of heaven were opened, and he beheld visions of God. That righteous man writes that if we don't remember right now the exact words that the Holy Or HaHaim writes, but that righteous man says that if we take the words, the initials of this sentence with which the Or HaHaim opens his book, what are the initials of this sentence? Faith. This sentence with which the Holy Or HaHaim opens his book, if we take the first letter of each word, what does it spell? Faith. But what apparently? It seems to contradict itself. We know what is faith. Faith is something we do not see, something that is not visible, something we do not sense, something about which we do not have complete intellectual clarity. So in such a case, we believe and we say, even though we do not see this thing, we still believe and still know that it exists. Something that we see before our eyes, we do not need to believe in it. We see it, it is tangible before our eyes, it is present in our lives, there is no need for faith in it. So if the Holy Spirit writes that he sees, why does the Holy Spirit write that he sees? He formulates the words, arranges the words, rhymes the words in such a way that their initials spell out emunah, faith. He showed visions of God. Why emunah? What is the significance of this? So he writes something we already know, that the Holy One, blessed be he, just once in history, acted and established in the world that we would see him tangibly. Our relationship with the Holy One, blessed be he, is not a relationship of certainty. We have discussed this several times in various articles in our book. The type of faith, the type of connection we have with the Holy One, blessed be he, is never a connection in which we are 100% certain, in which we know for sure that there is a Holy One, blessed be he. The heavens opened and he saw visions of God. This forms the Hebrew acronym for faith, emunah, as that righteous person writes. So our relationship, the type of connection we have with the Holy One, blessed be he, is not a connection of knowledge, it's not a connection of clarity, it's not a connection in which we are 100% certain that we will receive reward. A situation where we know with 100% certainty that we will have a share in the world to come. Everything is still somewhat vague. We are still thinking, still believing, and still knowing it, and for this our reward is so great. Even the kings ask, where is the place of his glory? We do not know where the Holy One, blessed be he, is. We do not know for certain what he is, who he is. Even the kings who are at the highest level, in the loftiest place, in the most exalted position, they too do not know for certain what is happening and how things unfold, and things are not completely clear to them. Except for one day in history, when God revealed himself to us and said, here I am, from then on we must contend with faith. When was this? At the giving of the Torah. Then God revealed his presence and sovereignty to Israel. It is through that vision and knowledge we saw at the Torah's giving that we continue with faith through the ages. Moses said in Deuteronomy, know that the Lord is God, there is none else. Once the Holy One, blessed be he, made it known that he is God, there is none besides him. From the tabernacle onward, we must, with our own knowledge, in our thoughts, with our non-intellectual faith, believe that there is a Holy One, blessed be he. That is the matter. Only once, on the day the Torah was given, did we see the Holy One. Blessed be he, eye to eye, face to face. From then on, we do not know. We only believe. The righteous one described by the Holy of Holies applies only to those not studying the Or HaHaim. Through the pure intellect and clarity of thought within these works, one gains a lifelong faith as if actually seeing the Holy One. Blessed be he. Daily he witnesses the giving of the Torah. As if he sees the Holy One before him, he does not need to struggle with concealment or the challenges he goes through. He does not need to justify them or try to reconcile them with the faith he wishes to have in the Holy One. Blessed be he. All these things apply to someone who does not study the Holy Or HaHaim. One who studies the Holy Or HaHaim merits such clarity as if he is now witnessing the giving of the Torah. That is why the Or HaHaim HaKadosh opens his book with this statement: the heavens were opened and he saw visions of God. Why does he tell us this? To show that the kind of faith of someone who studies this book is a faith of seeing, not a faith based on something our ancestors once saw. And since then, we are constantly trying to rekindle and pass on that flame of faith anew. Absolutely not. Anyone who studies the Or HaHaim HaKadosh merits every single day to tangibly see this faith with their own eyes. The power of atonement for sins. It's known that one of the lesser known righteous figures of the Hasidic movement is Rabbi Chaim David the Doctor. He was the physician to the kings of the Kingdom of Poland and the Kingdom of Russia at a time when wars were raging and territories were passing from one kingdom to another. Until a very old age, we don't know exactly, but perhaps 25, 30 or 35, he was completely secular. In those days, they would call such a person free, meaning someone free from the yoke of Torah and mitzvot, a person who did whatever he pleased. Some say his father was among Moses Mendelssohn's first students who spread the Haskalah. While this is unverified, he was a free man with no connection to Torah or mitzvot. Later in life, he drew close to the Maggid of Mezerich. Mezerich repented, and it is testified about him that he possessed the Holy Spirit and performed miracles. He was also close to the seer of Lublin, to the Magidim of Mezerich, to the Magidim of Koznitz, and he was connected to many righteous and great men. And it is told about him that he lived in the Radomsk area, in the region where the Tiferet Shlomo lived. And it is told that on the day of his passing, before he died, the Tiferet Shlomo came in to see him. He saw him crying, and he asked, "Why are you weeping? Surely you cry over your sins and the difficult things you did when you were free from Torah and mitzvot. After all, the prophet says the former days shall not be remembered. For one who repents, the days when he was distant from the Holy One, blessed be he, will not rise on the day of judgment. Those sins will be erased and wiped away." "No," he replied, "I am certain every bad thing I did will be transformed into good in heaven." Why? Because I studied the Or HaHaim HaKadosh. That's what he told him, and many books testify that even though until an advanced age he was distant from anything related to Torah, in his later years as an adult, he reached the level of divine inspiration and the ability to perform miracles and bring salvation to others. And on the day of his passing, which is the most significant and frightening time, Rabbi Yochanan feared, saying, "I know not where I go," despite his lifelong righteousness. Yet this repentant man with his flawed past died with joy. Why did he say, "And I am completely at ease"? Because I studied the book Or HaHaim HaKadosh. That is the merit, that is the power, that is the virtue. That is found in this book, and certainly for us, the members of the holy community, who are so meticulous in our devotion to the soul of the Or HaHaim HaKadosh, and in studying his books in depth, we will merit salvations, joys, and great things. Let us enter Parashat Balak, a full parasha, a parasha rich with topics and issues, and one of the most important parashot. The Gemara tells us that the sages wanted to establish the reading of Parashat Balak as part of the Shema. The entire Parashat Balak. How much do we know that our sages were considerate of people's time and shortened the prayer service from what it was originally supposed to be? Every Jew would have been obligated to read the entire lengthy Parashat Balak morning and evening because of its importance, its content, and its power. The Chatam Sofer writes that if we look and reflect, there is something very important called faith in the Torah. A person is supposed to believe in the Torah. And even if someone has doubts, even if someone has questions about the Torah, he is still supposed to believe in the Torah. The Chatam Sofer writes that the only Torah portion among all the portions of the Torah, he writes this not in his philosophical innovations, but in his halachic responsa. He writes that regarding the entire Torah, there is not really room to question it. Why? Because all of the Jewish people saw it. He writes, Adam, the first man, was in the Garden of Eden and saw the Garden of Eden. He cannot deny it. Adam was in the Garden of Eden and saw it, then left the garden and taught his son, and his son taught his son, until Noah. And Noah taught his son Shem, and Shem taught our forefather Jacob, and Jacob taught his sons, and his sons taught their sons, until Moses, our teacher. From the very first week of the creation of the world until our days, the people of Israel have a tradition passed down from generation to generation. What is the faith? And we know everything. We know. We saw the giving of the Torah. We saw the splitting of the Red Sea. Our ancestors saw it, and there is no way to deny it. It is impossible to brainwash an entire nation and tell them such a thing that they experienced it. It is impossible. It does not exist. All of Israel experienced the things that the Torah tells about, and therefore it is impossible to deny them. The only thing for which there is no clear testimony that none of us saw is the portion of Balak. Everything that is told in the portion of Balak, that Balak hired Balaam son of Beor to come and curse the people of Israel and to cast a certain curse upon the nation of Israel, all these things are things that we did not witness. These are things about which we have no knowledge. The Holy One, blessed be He, revealed them through prophecy to Moses, our teacher, and Moses wrote them down. The Gemara says in Tractate Bava Batra that Moses, our teacher, wrote 5 books, the 5 books of the law, the 5 books of the Torah, and also the book of Balaam. What is the book of Balaam? So the Ritva writes that the entire miracle of Balak and Balaam and everything we read about in this portion is only a summary. It is just a small part of everything that actually took place. In fact, there is an entire book, apparently about the same size as one of the books of the Torah, about 10 or 12 portions, that recounts the miracles and wonders that took place in those days of Balak and Balaam. We do not have it. It has been hidden from us. It has been lost to us. But it is clear that this portion, all these things that the portion tells us about, hint at and speak of lofty and exalted matters, which we will try to explain and grasp at least a little with our understanding. We want to understand the portion by first explaining the time in which we are standing here today. We began to explain this in the lesson on Monday, but we will continue, and on the same topic and along the same path, we will consistently explain these matters, different things, but still based on the same foundation. We know that we are now entering the months of Tammuz and Av, two fateful months, two extremely important months. These are the months upon which the revival, or God forbid, the downfall of the people of Israel depends. In these months, on the one hand, there is a very significant breach in the fortune of the people of Israel, in the strength of the people of Israel, as it was during these months that the temple was destroyed. In these months, the people of Israel went into exile, and this continues to have an effect to this day. Therefore, there are negative energies, if we can put it in the most tangible terms. Bad fortune, there is a negative force that can harm and can cause difficult and terrible things to the people of Israel. On the other hand, we know that this is also the time when the Messiah will come. This is the time when the Messiah is born. This is the time when the very best things will happen. On one hand, the greatest destruction, but on the other hand, these days are supposed to be days of great joy. Our sages tell us, what is the happiest day of the year? Out of the entire year, what is the happiest day? The happiest day is the last day of the month of Tammuz. Why? Because it is written, when the month of Adar enters, we increase in joy. It does not say to stop increasing until the eve of the month of Av, when it is written that we must begin to lessen our joy. Seemingly at the foundation of these days, in what these days are capable of and can be, they could be the highest and most sanctified days. But it is in our hands. We are the ones who need to repair, who are supposed to ascend, who are meant to reach higher places. If we succeed, if we are wise, if we know how to use the power of these days, the sky is the limit. We can reach the highest places. If we are not wise, if we do not know, it is possible to fall lower and lower, to deteriorate and lose things that could, God forbid, cause us harm and terrible, difficult things. What is the rectification? What is it that needs to be corrected in these times? So our ancestors revealed to us that there is two organs, two senses, two forces in the human body, and of course from these bodily forces also come forces in the soul, which we need to rectify. These are the main focus of our trials and efforts during these months. Speech, hearing, and sight, these two forces, the power of hearing and the power of sight, are such fundamental forces, forces upon which so much depends. These are the forces we need to rectify and on which we must work during these months. Each month we need to rectify a different force within our soul. Just as a wise person knows that there is a month in which he needs to order merchandise, a month in which he is supposed to export the merchandise, a month of vacation in which he can enjoy the profits, there is a time and a season for everything, as King Solomon said. So too, a wise person knows each month what he needs to focus on, what he needs to work on, what he needs to do. He works on these things, renews them, and sees how in the best way he can work on these matters. He can work on his vision in the month of Nisan. This is powerful, this is good, but success is not guaranteed for him. When is the time that is guaranteed for him? That if he deals with these things, if he does these things, he will certainly succeed. He will certainly reach an important and good place and understanding in these months. These extremely critical faculties in a person's soul and body, the vision and hearing in these months, Shevet Reuven, which is the tribe that rules, the tribe that shines in the month. In the month of Tammuz, it is the power of vision. The power of vision is in the month of Tammuz. And the power of hearing, the power of everything a person receives within himself through hearing, that power and that ability are found in the month of Av. These two things are divided. Of course, these two things exist on an external level, but also on a much deeper level. Guarding one's vision, that you must be careful about what you see, to understand that everything you see is not just random things. Every sight that a person sees, a person influences himself. A sight that a person sees causes damage, causes destruction. It truly is the most difficult thing for a person's soul. This week we saw something frightening from the Maharal of Prague, whom we did not know, and I don't think that many are familiar with him. The Maharal of Prague, one of the greats of the world, who lived over 500 years ago, even before Maran the Beit Yosef, writes in his book, Be'er Hagolah, something truly astonishing. If we look at the story of Noah, the Torah tells us that Ham, the son of Noah, saw the covered parts of Noah's body. He saw Noah's nakedness, as the Torah says. And then the Torah says that Noah got up and saw what Ham had done to him. What Ham did to him, which caused him very severe physical harm. There are two testimonies in the Gemara. What was this physical harm that was done to Noah? The commentator writes, something here is not clear. The Torah says that Ham saw his father's nakedness. That's what the Torah says. Noah, it is written that Noah got up and saw what his son had done to him. Why doesn't the Torah describe what his son did to him? If his son saw, we don't know that. Just because he saw, it means he also got up and did something. Not at all. So the Torah should have completed the story to say, he saw, he acted, and after that Noah got up and saw what his son had done to him. So the author says something frightening. The author says that a person who is immersed in himself, caught up in his own soul in bad desires, and who chases after forbidden sights and forbidden things, even if he only sees something and does not do any action, just his seeing alone, not only does it count for him in his fate, in his merits and liabilities, as if he actually did the act, but literally it is as if he performed the act in reality. And the harm that was caused to Noah physically was only from the fact that Ham looked at him, nothing more. Ham did not actually do anything physically himself. He only looked at Noah. And Ham was an impure person, a person who chases after evil things. His eyes, his seeing, not only was it considered as if he had acted, but it actually caused physical harm to Noah, as if he had truly done something just from seeing. That is the power of sight, which simply creates things and does things. And this is a wondrous thing, an immense thing that we cannot understand. This is on the simple level that a person must be vigilant about all matters of seeing and hearing. But if we look more deeply, not even much deeper, but on another level, in another aspect, what is so special about seeing and hearing, specifically in these months when we need to correct these things? These are months that are still difficult for us, months that are still complicated for us. After all, in every month and at every time, there are different matters that need to be corrected. In the month of Nisan as well, there are things that need to be corrected. How long did it take to rectify the powers of the soul, the matters that needed to be corrected in the month of Nisan? 210 years, the time that the children of Israel were in the land of Egypt, the month of Adar. How long did it take to correct? How long did it take to correct? How long did it take to complete what needed to be completed in the soul during the month of Adar? Just a few days from the time Haman cast the lot until Mordecai and Esther, with the help of heaven, succeeded in annulling the decree that Haman had issued. There were a few days of fear and panic among the Jewish people, and then everything was resolved. Here for 2,000 years, the people of Israel have been trying to correct their sight and hearing and have not succeeded. What is so difficult, what is so complicated about sight and hearing? What is so terrible about it that for almost 2,000 years the people of Israel have been going in circles, unable to reach perfection, unable to achieve correction to fix their sight and hearing? So if we look and observe, what is the difference between the sense of sight and the sense of hearing compared to all the other senses? There are 5 senses in a person, as we know: sight, hearing, taste, things a person eats with his mouth, and touch, things a person feels. What is the difference? What is it that distinguishes them? What is it that connects the two together? What is it that is identical to both of them, that sets them apart and is not related to the other senses? If we look and examine things in depth, in practice, every contact we have, every interaction we have through one of the senses with something else in the world, it is impossible to separate it, to say we are touching, we enjoy this thing and we don't enjoy that thing. We are either involved in this thing or not involved in it. It's simply yes or no. If a person touched something, then he touched it. He can't say, I didn't touch it. He can't say, I didn't touch it. You touched it, you touched it. If a person ate something, he can't avoid it. He can't say, I didn't eat it. It was something, yes, healthy. There is no black and white. There is no gray. There is no in between. There is no sort of when someone smells something they do. He either smells it or not. So how does that differ from seeing and hearing? Hearing and sight are the only senses where there is actually some blurring. There can be a yes and there can be a no with them. A person who eats something, he definitely ate it. Even if he ate just a little, he put that thing into his body. Sight, on the other hand, how many people see things in a blurry way? They can't see clearly and with certainty what they're looking at. You see something from a very great distance. You see something very, very, very far away. That thing looks small and its proportions change, and you might say you saw it or you didn't see it. It's the same with hearing. How many times can a person hear something? Someone speaks quickly, he heard what was said, but he didn't really hear, he didn't really listen. These are the only senses where there is no clear cut, nothing definite, nothing agreed upon, nothing that is absolutely final. I saw, maybe I didn't see clearly, I heard, maybe I didn't hear clearly. There's no such thing as I ate, but maybe I didn't eat clearly, or I touched, but maybe I didn't touch clearly. There's no such thing. What does this tell us about our service of God? What does this tell us about the whole general matter that we are supposed to work on? What is the entire service of God for a person? A person, very often in his service of God, in his desire to draw closer to the Holy One, blessed be He. In his spiritual actions, he is indeed drawing closer to the Holy One, blessed be He. But at the same time, he is not drawing closer to the Holy One, blessed be He. A person wants to be a very great Tzadik, and he is on a level of righteousness. He is engaged in acts of righteousness. True, he fulfills all 613 commandments, but in his soul, in his thoughts, in his spiritual attachment, he is completely distant from the Holy One, blessed be He. This is the type of service of God that we are supposed to work on during these days. These are the situations where we can say yes or no. How many people can say that yes, they observe all the commandments, yes, they pray 3 times a day, but in reality, they do not connect to the Holy One, blessed be He. They do not truly believe and do not truly know that everything they have, all their matters, all their actions, and everything they possess comes from the Holy One, blessed be He alone. And therefore, always in the month of Tammuz, during this period of Bein HaMetzarim, Tammuz and Av, what does it begin with? With Parashat Balak. Why with Parashat Balak? Here we see this matter from both sides of the divide. People who, in their actions, can be perfect, in the best place, seemingly the greatest place, but in their soul, in their values, in their closeness to the Holy One, blessed be He, they are in the lowest and most degraded place there is. Let's look at Balaam the wicked. Balaam the wicked was a man who, until his last day, there is no indication otherwise, was a prophet of God, a man who spoke with the Holy One, blessed be He, a man who merited the greatest things there are. No prophet like Moses ever arose. The Midrash says, in Israel, none arose, but among the nations of the world, one did arise, a man who was on par with Moses, our teacher. It is written in the Midrash, in Perkei de Rabbi Eliezer, that the Holy One, blessed be He, wanted to give the Torah to Balaam the wicked, but did not give it to him, and instead chose to give the Torah to the people of Israel. A person who could have received the Torah, a person who could have reached the highest levels. But what is hollow, lacking any true closeness to the Holy One, blessed be He? If we look at the Torah, if you read the Torah in the usual way, you don't find that Balaam is evil. You find that Balaam is a good man who says, I will listen to what the Holy One, blessed be He, says. I will obey the Holy One, blessed be He. I will consistently follow after the Holy One, blessed be He. But what then? We know that in reality, he was a wicked person, someone who possessed all the despicable and terrible traits in the world. How can this be? How do these two things fit together and connect? So yes, there is a person who thinks that through his actions, he's completely connected to the Holy One, blessed be He, but in reality, he can do something small, a minor thing through which he falls, through which he collapses, and through which he brings all his spiritual life and all the great and lofty things to the pit of destruction. And based on this, we can understand. And based on this, we can understand and see what we observe in the opening verses of the parasha. In the first verse of the parasha, the Torah tells us that Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, heard and saw what the children of Israel did to the Amorite. He saw what the children of Israel did to the Amorite. That is what is written. It does not say that he was afraid. It does not say that he was terrified. That is written about his people, the people of Moab, that they were afraid and fearful of the children of Israel. What is written about Balak, son of Zippor? He saw what Israel did to the Amorites, conquering them. What is so remarkable here? After all, only 39 years had passed since leaving Egypt, the people, the land, and their work. Egypt was greater than Balak, son of Zippor, than the Amorite, and than all the nations. They were all great, so there was nothing new about it. There was nothing remarkable about the fact that suddenly it was revealed that the children of Israel had great power. Nothing new was introduced or revealed here. Anyone who consistently followed the children of Israel knew that they had strength and that they defeated Amalek, who were strong, mighty, and greater than all these nations. Everyone knew this. So what is the big novelty? What did he see here in what the children of Israel did to the Amorite? So if we look at the previous parsha, what was new about the war with the Amorite? So the Torah explicitly writes that there was a very big problem. The Holy One, blessed be He, told Moses not to approach the lands of Ammon and Moab, two nations, not to go near them, not to touch them, not to do anything bad to them, and yet the children of Israel went and conquered some of the cities of Moab. How did the children of Israel go and conquer some of the cities of Moab? After all, the Holy One, blessed be He, said not to approach the land of Moab. So the Torah explicitly says that there was a miracle that the Holy One, blessed be He, performed for the children of Israel. There was the king of Moab, and Sihon, who was an external king, came and took these towns from Moab, took them for himself. So since the king took these towns from Moab for himself, the children of Israel were able to go and conquer Moab. Og and Sihon purified Moab. This is what the Gemara says. Og and Sihon, two kings who were not connected to Moab, came and purified Moab for the children of Israel. They transferred control, fought against Moab, and took this land for themselves. Since this land was taken by Sihon and he was the king, it became possible to conquer and take it. What do we learn from this? What do we see from this? That even though the land is the same land, the place is the same place, the people are the same people, everything is exactly the same, all that changed was the king. All that changed was the person who ruled. Nothing changed in the land, nothing changed in the people, nothing changed at all. But when the king changed from one to another, everything changed, and what was forbidden until now became permitted. And the same goes the other way. What was permitted becomes forbidden. The moment the king changed, everything changed. Where do we know this concept from? A king of a city. Where do we know this term from? Where does this term sound familiar, as they say? Where do we know this term from? So the Gemara tells us that there is a parable and its meaning for the whole matter of the evil inclination, that a person is essentially like a city with two kings fighting over it. There is the good inclination which fights to bring this city, the person's soul, to a higher place, to a place of closeness to God, to a place of true closeness to the Holy One. Blessed be He. And then there is the king from the evil side, which is the evil inclination, fighting to drag the person down to the pit of destruction, to sins, to transgressions, to the lowest and worst places there are. What do we see? That even though the city is the same city, once the king changes, everything changes. What does this tell us? Even though the land is the same land, the people are the same people, or in the analogy, the person is the same person, the actions are the same actions, the commandments are the same commandments, and the transgressions are the same transgressions. The king has changed, the ruling force has changed, everything has changed. It's the same with a person. When the evil inclination that rules over him changes, what does it rule over him with? With all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of musings, all kinds of things. In actions, the actions are the same actions. In speech, the words are the same words. But something has changed here in the inner approach. Something has changed within him. In the inner dialogue, everything has completely changed. Balak sees this and then says, now I can defeat the people of Israel. Immediately he goes to Balaam. What does he see that the Israelites did to the Amorite? That with the Amorite, this new thing happened. A city can be the same city, and the Holy One, blessed be He, says not to touch the city, but if the king changes, suddenly it is permitted to take this city. So it was with Balak son of Zippor, who was a sworn enemy of the Israelites. He had always hated the Israelites deeply in his soul. What happened that suddenly now he is fighting and going to wage war against Israel? It wasn't out of fear of the Israelites. That's not what is written. It is written only about his Moabite people, who were lesser people and not so wise. They were the ones who were afraid of the Israelites. Balak son of Zippor said, now I can harm the Israelites. Why? Because the king has changed. They are the same people. This principle was revealed, that if you harm the Israelites in such a way that you don't harm them through their actions, but rather the king over them changes, their mindset changes, their inner voice changes, and the evil inclination comes to rule over them. At that moment, everything was destroyed and everything collapsed. It became possible to rule over them. He immediately goes to Balaam, son of Beor. And who was Balaam? He was exactly the embodiment of this concept. Who is Balaam? A person who, by the highest possible definition, cannot be defined simply as an evil person. He is called a prophet of God. We find that the Holy One, blessed be He, speaks with him. The Holy One, blessed be He, speaks with him. We find in him all the virtues. Seemingly, it is impossible to find a single bad thing about him. You can't point and say there is some impurity in him or unclear things. Unclear hints in the Torah allude to the fact that he was a negative person. And yet, he is a negative, evil, and despicable person with all the harsh traits he possesses. How can that be? True. In his actions, he is good and perfect and everything seems fine with him, but there is something not good within him, something internal that we cannot understand. This is what Amalek is trying to bring to the people of Israel. And with this power, he wants to defeat them, not by causing them to sin at first, not by going and fighting against them in some way, but simply by bringing them this attitude, this thing that was renewed in Balaam, that a person can seemingly be on the highest spiritual level, the very highest, and yet be completely rotten inside, entirely devoid of true spirituality within. And even though he represents Torah, holiness, mitzvot, and all these things, he is rotten inside. Everything is lacking, everything is empty, and there is nothing in him. The Rambam writes in Tractate Sanhedrin that the Gemara lists 4 people who have no share in the world to come. 3 of them are from the people of Israel, Doeg the Edomite, Ahitophel. 3 from among the people of Israel, and 1, Balaam the son of Beor. The Rambam asks, but Balaam the son of Beor is a Gentile. He is not part of the people of Israel. Why consider if he has a share in the world to come? Maimonides notes, in truth, based on the Torah, he seems worthy of the afterlife. His deeds even seem holier than a Jew's. A prophet, something that almost no one else merited except for Moses, our teacher in that generation. How can you tell the difference? You can't tell the difference. The Mishnah asks, what distinguishes the disciples of Abraham, our father, from those of Balaam the wicked? Our sages wonder why it doesn't simply compare Abraham and Balaam directly. Why does it focus on the disciples? So our sages explain and say that if you were to look and observe Abraham, our father, and Balaam the wicked side by side, you wouldn't find any difference between them. Both of them appeared the same, only with the disciples, only with the offspring. That's where you see the differences. And the sons and disciples of Abraham, our father, reached great heights, while the disciples and sons of Balaam the wicked went to the lowest places. Why does Balak bring Balaam to curse the children of Israel? To bring to the children of Israel, this place where Balaam is found, which by definition is the highest place. By definition, it is the most elevated and holy place, but all his inner being is hollow and contains nothing. Everything is rotten and nothing is surrendered before the Holy One. Blessed be He. This is Balaam the wicked. On the other hand, at the end of the parsha, on the other side, what do we see? Who is the figure that the Torah sets against Balaam the wicked? If Balaam the wicked is entirely hollow and evil, yet he is the figure who is righteous, holy, exalted, and in the highest and most supreme place, Moses our teacher. Who was Moses our teacher? A person who was on the highest level and in the loftiest place, but still, by his very definition, one could not say, heaven forbid, that he was the very best. The Rambam, the holy Or HaHaim writes that in the portion of Vizot HaBaracha it is written, and this is the blessing with which Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel. The holy Or HaHaim writes that you should not think that Moses, our teacher, served the Holy One, blessed be he, simply because of his inherently good nature. And you should not think that Moses, from his holiness, of course from his holiness, but that he had good traits and a very good spiritual disposition, and that it was because of this that he served the Holy One, blessed be he. Absolutely not, writes the holy Or HaHaim. Everything that Moses, our teacher, submitted himself to the Holy One, blessed be he, and reached the lofty spiritual level that he attained, was due to one thing. He was a man of God. He possessed a very great awe of the Holy One. Blessed be he. A person who fears something, seemingly this means that in his natural disposition, in his natural traits, he does not connect to it. And out of fear, out of awe, out of the knowledge that he must submit to this thing, he submits to it. So too with Moses, our teacher. He had all the traits and all the things that in the ordinary way would not have been expected to contribute to what Moses was meant to be. Yet in his innermost being, he submitted himself. He was in awe. He was connected to the Holy One. Blessed be he. He merited to reach the highest and most exalted places. We said 2 weeks ago on Shabbat at the home of our honored teacher and rabbi that if we look at the dispute of Korash and his assembly, the Torah tells us that Korash came to Moses and to Aaron and insulted Moses and insulted Aaron and said to them, you are taking advantage of the people of God. You are taking advantage of the people of God. You are stealing. You are anointing yourselves. He heaps upon Moses, our teacher, and upon Aaron, the priest, all the insults and all the harsh, terrible, and complex accusations that one could say about a person. What does Moses, our teacher, do? Moses responds. Moses fell on his face. Moses lowers his face. Seemingly, what does Moses want to convey by this? How is Moses responding with this? Moses is supposed to respond to the matter, to answer, I'm not like that, I'm not like that, and you will be innocent, Moses and Israel. What does Moses choose to do? To fall on his face, to bend down and not look directly at Korach. Why? What is the point, seemingly? So we answered and said, based on a story brought by several of our sages, there are those who disagree, but there are great and authoritative figures who do bring it. Our honored teacher and rabbi told this story several times in this very place, that once there was a great king, a very important king, who wanted to know who Moses was. He heard that there was a nation leaving Egypt, that miracles were happening to them, wonders were happening to them, the greatest things were happening to them. He wanted to know who the leader of this nation was, who was the person through whom all these miracles and salvations were happening. He sent painters to paint the likeness of Moses' face. They painted the likeness of Moses' face and brought the painting. They brought the painting to that king. The king took it to various people who were experts in the wisdom of physiognomy. He asked, what do you say about this man? They said, this man is a thief, a swindler, a deceiver, and listed all the bad traits there are. He said, and that can't be. He went to the desert himself, to the desert to see Moses in person. He compared the face in the painting to Moses himself, to how Moses really looked, and saw the same face. So he asked Moses, how can this be? Moses replied, it's true, I have this bad trait and that infuriating trait and this one and that one and that one. But through my self-control, through my tremendous desire to be a true servant of God, to be a person at the highest spiritual level, I nullify all these things. I subdue all these things, and I became the great Moses and subdue them with my strength. Every single day, all the bad deaths that exist within me. Therefore, as soon as Moses, our teacher, saw that Korach was accusing him and saying, you are this, and you are that, and you are that, and you are that, Moses immediately lowered his face. This is how we explained it based on this. Why? Because he knew that his face actually expressed these things. In them was the proof of what Korach was saying. Korach claimed that Moses, with this disgraceful trait, his face showed it. Korach possessed the trait of lust, while Moses had the other disgraceful trait. His face showed that he had this thing within him. Therefore, Moses lowered his face, hid his face, so as not to validate Korach's claim. What do we see from this? That Moses was exactly the opposite of Korach. In his definition, in what could be said about him externally, it seemed as if he had all the negative traits. But in his inner self, in his holiness, in his goodness, he could reach the highest and most awe-inspiring places. At the end of this Torah portion, Parashat Balak, we read something that appears both in this portion and in the next one. The whole story of Zimri son of Salu and Pinchas son of Eleazar the priest. The Torah tells us that after Balaam blessed the children of Israel and did not curse the children of Israel, Balak said to Balaam, what should I do? So Balaam told Balak, lead the children of Israel into sin with matters of immorality and forbidden things. Balak devised an entire scheme and managed to cause many of the children of Israel to stumble and sin. And Zimri, son of Salu, who was the head of the tribe of Shimon, committed a vile and severe act. Moses, our teacher, was struck silent. He did not know, this is what our sages say, that Moses was struck silent and did not know what should be done in such a situation. The law was forgotten from him regarding what to do in this case. Pinchas, son of Eleazar, came to Moses and said to him, you taught us that in such a case one must strike the person. This is not something that is generally taught, but if someone commits such an act publicly before 10 Israelites, then one must take action against him directly. Moses said to Pinchas, go and do it. Pinchas went and carried out the act. He killed Zimri, son of Salu, and the Midianite woman. Then the Holy One, blessed be he, told Moses to inform Pinchas that he had merited a reward. Behold, I give him my covenant of peace. This is what the Torah states explicitly. But if we summarize, everything we know from the words of our sages is that Pinchas merited three things as a result of that event. First, Pinchas was granted the priesthood. Until then, Pinchas was not a priest, even though he was the son of Aaron the Kohen. He himself was not a priest. That was simply the situation at the time he was born. He was Aaron's son, but he himself was not a priest. He merited to become a priest. The second thing he received was longevity. Pinchas, son of Eleazar, lived a long life. The Radak writes that he reached the age of 300 or 400. The third thing is that he will be the herald of the redemption. Our sages tell us Pinchas is Elijah. Pinchas and Elijah are the same person. So Pinchas merited that he would announce the redemption. It is written in the prophets, the last prophecy that the Holy One, blessed be he, said to the people of Israel in the book of Malachi, behold, I am sending you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord, that a day before the redemption, Elijah the prophet will come and bring peace, will make peace between the Holy One, blessed be he, and the people of Israel. These are the three gifts that Pinchas merited to receive. The first gift, priesthood. The second gift, longevity. The third gift, what is the gift that Pinchas merited? To be the one who announces the redemption. At first glance, this is not understood. Moses, our teacher, why didn't he get up and do what Pinchas did? True, he forgot the law, but if we look closely, 40 years earlier, when the Israelites made the golden calf, Moses saw that the Israelites were making the calf, and there was wrath, there was anger in heaven over the calf that the Israelites were making. Moses did not wait to recall some law. He wanted to calm the wrath in heaven. Immediately, he told the entire tribe of Levi, rise up and kill your brothers. Each one should rise and kill anyone who worshipped idols. They all rose up and killed those who had worshipped idols. We see that Moses knew this solution, that when there is anger in heaven at that time and in that, the solution was to kill the transgressors, and behold, Moses rose up and did it. So why here does Moses suddenly fall silent and not do it? And it is even more evident that Moses should have done it. Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, who was the only one who remembered this law, came. Not only did he remember this law, but he did not get up and carry it out himself. He went to Moses and told Moses this law. If he goes and tells Moses this law, it means he is honoring Moses with this commandment. He says to Moses, you should perform this commandment. Moses does not perform this commandment, he recoils. Seemingly, why is that? Moses is supposed to get up and do this thing. Why doesn't Moses do this thing? So we once thought to ourselves, if we look, these three things that Pinchas merited, these are the things that Moses longed for the most throughout his entire life. Every person has the wish of their heart, the things they deeply desire, the things that are the longing of their soul, that they so much want and aspire to. These things were the longing and the deepest, strongest desire of Moses throughout his entire life. First of all, what was it that Moses wanted so much? The priesthood. Moses wanted to be a priest. He wanted to be the priest of the people of Israel. It's not just that he would be the priest. If he merited the priesthood, then his sons would be priests as well. And his sons would be priests, and his grandchildren would be priests, and all generations after would be priests. Moses wanted this because when God first revealed himself to Moses, Moses did not immediately say, yes, I will go and redeem the children of Israel. He hesitated. Because of this hesitation, God took the priesthood away from Moses and gave it to Aaron the priest. What do we see from this? That the priesthood was the thing Moses wanted most in his life. Here, Aaron the priest, Moses, gets up and does this act. And what could he have merited by regaining the priesthood that was taken from him? What did Moses say? I will not be too clever, and I will not force God to give me the priesthood. What was the reward for this act? The priesthood, the person who does this act and kills the one who committed the forbidden act, what was he supposed to merit from God? The priesthood. Moses saw with divine inspiration that this was the reward for this act. He said, I will not pressure God and take the priesthood. God took the priesthood from me, and I accept that. I'm fine with it. I believe that God has given me other things to make up for the priesthood. Even though I could now do something that would force God to reward me, to return the priesthood to me, I won't do it. I will step back and not take the priesthood. What is the second reward? What is the other good thing that Pinchas, son of Eleazar, received? Longevity. He lived for 300 years. Pinchas, son of Eleazar, lived and had a long life he lived a long life. For 300 years. This too is the thing that Moses, our teacher, wanted most. What is the thing that Moses, our teacher, wanted and yearned for all his life? To enter the land of Israel. Moses, our teacher, longed for the land of Israel. He dreamed of the land of Israel. A few months before he was to enter the land of Israel, the Holy One, blessed be He, decreed upon him because of the sin of Merivah, which we read about in the previous Torah portion. The Holy One, blessed be He, decreed upon him that he would not enter the land of Israel, that he would be buried outside the land. And here, if Moses, our teacher, were to do this act, if he were to rise up and kill the act of killing the Midianite woman could force the Holy One, blessed be He, to allow Moses to enter the land of Israel, to actually come into the land of Israel, because that would be the reward for this mitzvah. There is a mitzvah and there is a reward for it. If Moses, our teacher, fulfills the mitzvah, he will merit the reward. Moses, our teacher, refrained. He did not perform the mitzvah. He did not do the good deed. Why? So as not to force the Holy One, blessed be He, to give him that reward. What do we see from these two things? We see the good character traits of Moses, our teacher, the stark contrast to Balak. If we look at Balak, for whom only the external definitions of serving God, of attaining virtues, of achieving things matter, while inner fear of heaven and inner love of God are hollow and mean nothing, in contrast with Moses, our teacher, what do we see? Moses, our teacher, could rightfully attain all the commandments. Moses, our teacher, could rightfully achieve all these things. Moses, our teacher, could attain and reclaim for himself all the gifts, all the things that were taken from him, and yet he chooses to refrain from doing so. He chooses not to do it. He chooses to refrain from it. He chooses not to do it so as not to force the Holy One, blessed be He, to return to him what was taken from him. So let's sum up. We said there are actually three things that Pinchas ben Eleazar merited. Priesthood, the priesthood that was taken from Moshe Rabbeinu and passed to Aharon the Kohen. Secondly, longevity. And thirdly, to be the herald of the redemption. Let me add in parentheses something interesting that we just remembered, something we once heard when Aaron the high priest hesitated to become the high priest. It is written that Aaron delayed entering the temple. The Holy One, blessed be He, chose Aaron to be the priest after the priesthood was taken from Moses, our teacher. Then Aaron and then the Holy One, blessed be He, chose him and said to him, come and offer the sacrifices you are supposed to offer. Aaron the high priest was embarrassed and ashamed and did not want to approach the altar. Then Moses, our teacher, said to him, approach the altar, do not be ashamed, for this is why you were chosen. What does it mean for this? For this you were chosen? Therefore, you were chosen for this. Do not be embarrassed. Do not step back from the altar. You are the one who was chosen for this. But one of the righteous, we don't remember now, once interpreted it differently. What does it mean? For this you were chosen. The Holy One, blessed be He. Moses, our teacher, said to Aaron, the high priest, now you are hesitating, you are fearful, you are considering whether to approach the priesthood or not. Why were you chosen for the priesthood? Because I hesitated and said, should I go or should I not go? I was uncertain and said, should I go or should I not go? If you also hesitate whether to go or not to go, in the end you will lose the When you approached the altar, I hesitated whether to redeem the children of Israel. You were chosen because if you also hesitate, you will lose the priesthood. When something is given, one must immediately run and seize it. Second, Pinchas, the son of Eleazar, merited being the redeemer of the children of Israel. He is the herald who brings the news of redemption. Elijah the prophet, at the end of days, will announce this redemption to the children of Israel. Pinchas is Elijah. They are the same person. Redemption and Gabe. And why is it necessary for someone to announce the redemption? Elijah the prophet, a day before the redemption, to come and proclaim it. Good news is announced right before it arrives. The redemption of pride, there is no need for a delay in this matter. On the contrary, it would cause us pain, it would cause us sorrow until this thing happens, and there could be tremendous anticipation. So what is the reason for this gap, this separation, and what is the role of this herald of redemption? If we say that it is from the righteous person whose Torah we are studying, the righteous one who Earlier, it was insisted in the portion of Tetzaveh that he offers well-known interpretations and innovations. The essence of the matter is that Moses, our teacher, wanted to direct the second group after including everyone. Through faithful conduct and the core roles of the priests, the community of Israel finds a solution. This emphasizes the need for precaution and focus, even in preschool settings, to ensure that the core values are maintained according to this tradition. Balancing it out there so that God will come and eventually focus on the redemption, because Moses, our teacher, said, until the children of Israel fulfill the Torah. So Moses, our teacher, said, until the children of Israel fulfill the Torah, I am not. Until the children of Israel fulfill the Torah, I am not. Until the children of Israel fulfill the Torah, I cannot redeem them. It is impossible to redeem them. So simply, as long as the children of Israel do not fulfill the Torah, only the principles, he cannot redeem them. Moses, our teacher, refuses to come. Therefore, we know. It is for this very reason that Moses, who served as our primary teacher and spiritual guide, initially expressed a profound sense of hesitation and did not truly want to accept the heavy burden of leadership that was being placed upon his shoulders by the divine presence. He questioned his own worthiness and the magnitude of the task ahead, reflecting a deep humility that defined his character throughout the long journey of the Israelites across the desert sands toward their ultimate destiny in the promised land. Therefore, Moses, our teacher, also did not want to go and kill Zimri. Why? Because he knew that if he would kill Zimri, he would become the herald of the redemption. You made peace between my children and between the Holy One, blessed be he. That you should make peace between my children, and in the future for the house of Israel as well, you will make peace between my children. Making peace, he cannot do it, it is not possible. And therefore, if there is no peace, Israel will not be redeemed. That is why Moses, our teacher, saw that if he goes, if they do not observe the Torah, only then will they be redeemed. Only then will they rise up from the pit of exile and merit redemption. That is why Moses, our teacher, that is why he did not want to do this act. He gave of himself, gave all his aspirations, gave all the great things he could have merited in their entirety and perfection, so as not to force the Holy One, blessed be he, to return to him what was taken from him, and in order to redeem the children of Israel with mercy at the earliest possible time. Let's think about this for a moment. Let's think, my dear and righteous friend, Swat. So let's sign and finish these things in a very clear and explicit manner, so that although we wrote it down in the book, it can be safely assumed that we also expressed it orally, which is something very dear and precious to us. This truly explains and gives a person the necessary tools and practical ways to deal with the difficult battle against the evil inclination. As we have said before, the struggle against the evil inclination is something that exists for everyone, without any exception at all. The evil inclination is clever, sophisticated, and deals with very sharp and cruel knives. It does not shy away from any method and does not choose any particular way to cause a person to sin and bring a person to ruin. A few months ago, we mentioned here in the lesson, with the honor of our teacher and rabbi, the Gemara that says that if there are people who pass away before their time, a person who dies before his time, a person who is supposed to die at the age of, and there was some kind of mishap at work with the angel of death, and he caused him to sin, who was supposed to die at 50 or 60, what do they do with the extra 10? It's written, finish leader, it's written in the Gemara that the angel of death said he gives them to the righteous, gives them to the righteous. So the Vilna Gaon would ask, since when does the angel of death love the righteous so much that he gives them extra years? The angel of death's greatest enemies are the righteous, the people who do good deeds. So what happened that suddenly he adds years to their lives? The Vilna Gaon writes that in truth, it's written that a person who reaches half his days, does not sin, is assured that he will be fine in his life. If he is not good, then the evil inclination sees this. They are at the midpoint of their lives and have not sinned, so it is certain that they will never sin. Therefore, the evil inclination adds years to them so that they will have more time, so they do not reach half their days. More time so that they will have more years in which they might sin, even to the point of giving a person life and extending his days despite the contradiction, and he is the angel of death and he is everything, and still he does not spare any means and does not act. Nothing, he does not refrain from any means in order to harm a person. So there is a Gemara in Tractate Avodah Zarah on page 25 that gives guidance, offers advice to a person, remarkable things about what he should do when he is traveling with a non-Jew. Remarkable advice and things, what a person should do when he is traveling with a non-Jew. And as is our way, we will seek, with heaven's help, to clarify and explain the inner meaning of each thing and the guidance that the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Torah give us on how to deal with every situation. As our sages have taught us, there is nothing in the Torah that is not relevant every single day. And there is nothing that is relevant only to a person's body, to his external self, and not to his inner self and what a person does. So the Gemara in Tractate Avodah Zarah gives guidance to a person who is traveling with a non-Jew. A person, a Jewish man and a non-Jewish man, are walking on the road. There is caution, there are strictures, there are things that the Jewish person must be careful about out of concern that the non-Jewish person might harm him. We know there is a halacha that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, Esau hates Jacob, meaning that a non-Jew, a person from the nations of the world, always hates the people of Israel and will always seek their harm and always seek the curse of the Jew. Therefore, a Jew and a non-Jew walking alone on the road is something dangerous, something one should be wary of. If, nevertheless, it happens that a Jew and a non-Jew must go somewhere together, the Torah has given instructions, the Torah has provided guidance on how they should walk and in what manner they should go. So the Gemara says that if there is a situation, a reality, where a Jew is walking along the road and next to him is a non-Jew who has a sword, a non-Jew who has a blade, then in such a case, what should he do? The Jewish person should make sure that the non-Jew is on his left side. Why on his left side? Because if the non-Jew has a sword, on which side does one usually place the sword? A person puts his sword, the sheath of his sword, on the left side so that he can draw it with his right hand. So if the non-Jew is on the right side of the Jewish person, and the non-Jew has a sword and tries to draw the sword to come and kill or injure the Jewish person, since the sword is close to the Jewish person and he is on his left side, he can grab him and stop him if he tries. If he is on his left side, it is already farther away. Therefore, the Gemara says that when a person is walking on the road with a non-Jew who has a sword, he should always place the non-Jew with the sword on his left side. On the other hand, if a person is walking with a non-Jew who has a stick, if a Jewish person is walking with a non-Jew who has a stick, he needs to be careful to do exactly the opposite, to place him on his left side. Why should he place him on his left side? Because a person walks with his stick in his right hand, so if he puts him on his right side, that would be the left side of the non-Jew, and the stick would be very far from him. In a single moment, the non-Jew could lift the stick and strike him. Therefore, he needs to place the non-Jewish person on his left side so that the stick will be close to him. And if the non-Jew raises the stick to strike him, he will immediately be able to stop him, and the non-Jew will not be able to strike him and hit him. This is what the Gemara says. The second instruction that the Gemara gives is that when a person is climbing a mountain, when a person is going up a mountain with a non-Jew, he must always be careful to keep the non-Jew behind him and not in front of him. Why? If the non-Jew is in front of the person and they are climbing the mountain, the non-Jew could suddenly push the Jewish person. They are climbing, going up the mountain, the non-Jew first and then the Jewish person. The non-Jew could turn around, push the Jewish person, and he would roll down. And like the scapegoat for Azazel, he would die, break apart, and his limbs would be scattered. This is something dangerous. And the same applies when going down the mountain. If a Jew and a non-Jew are descending a mountain, if they were at a high place on the mountain and are going down to a lower place, the Jewish person must be careful that the non-Jew is not behind him, but rather in front of him. Why? Because if he is behind him, he could make him fall or push him in the same way. In such a case, he should be below him. Always, when going up or down a mountain, the non-Jew should be behind him and not in front of him. These are two instructions that the Gemara gives. First, if there is a non-Jew walking with a sword, you need to place him on your left side. No, actually, you need to place him on your right side and not on your left. And if there is a non-Jew walking with a tool, you should place him on your left side and not on your right. And when going up a mountain, the non-Jew should always be below. We studied this Gemara a few months ago and thought to ourselves, this was right before the release of the new book that came out, and we wanted to add this as an article as well. We wondered what the depth of the Gemara is, what this Gemara is telling us. So let's look, and that's why we're sure we didn't say this, because it was really in the last few months. Let's look and reflect for a moment. Every place where a non-Jew is mentioned, every place where a Ben Netcher is mentioned, we know that it symbolizes, hints at the evil inclination, which causes people to sin and always tries to bring terrible and awful things upon the people of Israel. The non-Jews always symbolize the evil inclination in the world. Why do Jews do bad things? They are influenced by the nations of the world. The nations of the world bring all kinds of ideas, all kinds of behaviors, all sorts of bad things. And we, the people of Israel, in our innocence, think that since it is good for them, it must be good for us too. And we follow them and do the same things. Therefore, the evil inclination, the negative things in the world are always marked, noticeable, and manifest in the world as whom? They manifest in the world as the nations of the world, as the Gentiles. What is this Gemara actually hinting to us? That if there is a Gentile walking with a sword, you should always keep him on your right side and not on your left. What is a sword? If we pay attention, what kind of evil inclination is this? As we said, the nations of the world always symbolize and hint in the books everywhere at the evil inclination. What is the sword's evil inclination? The Gemara explains it refers specifically to the inclination toward forbidden sexual relations. The inclination for forbidden sexual relations, for forbidden authority, for all these forbidden desires. How do we deal with them? With the sword. Where do we learn this from? So the Gemara tells us about a holy and pure Jew named Palti ben Laish. Palti ben Laish was a man who faced a very difficult test regarding forbidden relations, and it is said about him that he was greater than Yosef the righteous. As much as we praise and extol Yosef the righteous, who withstood difficult and very severe trials, Palti ben Laish was even greater in his ability to withstand temptation and greater in his strength against the evil inclination than Yosef the righteous. How did Yosef and Palti ben Laish resist the urge for forbidden relations? He put a sword between them, saying, "Whoever crosses this will be stabbed." This shows that avoiding forbidden relations involves suffering. In what way do we deal with it? In what way? We overcome it by means of a sword. So what does the Gemara tell us? If there is an evil inclination regarding forbidden relations that fights a person with a sword, there is a non-Jew who has a sword, a non-Jew, the evil inclination comes to fight a person with a sword. What is a sword? The urge for forbidden relations, how do you handle it? Keep it at your right hand. So our sages tell us, and this is hinted at and stated in many places, that the right hand alludes to the Torah. How do we know this? It is written, "The Lord has sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength." The sages say, what is in the arm of his strength of the Holy One, blessed be he? Tefillin. What is in the right hand of the Holy One, blessed be he? What is in the Holy One's right hand? The Torah. The Midrash says two things are in his right hand, the Torah and charity. The right hand always alludes to the Torah. It is written, and the holy nation writes this as well, that when Moses split the sea, the Holy One, blessed be he, held him with his right hand. Why specifically with the right hand? Because the Holy One, blessed be he, knew that the only thing that subdues power, all the forces in creation, is the Holy Torah. And the Torah had not yet been given to Moses, the Torah was not yet with Moses. Therefore the Holy One, blessed be he, since the Torah was in his right hand, held the hand of Moses, and by the power of the Torah that was in the right hand of the Holy One, blessed be he wanted the sea to split for the children of Israel, and indeed the sea split for the children of Israel. What do we see from this? Where is the Torah found? In the right hand of the Holy One, blessed be he. In the right hand of the Holy One, blessed be he. And in the image of God, the Holy One, blessed be he, created man. Therefore, a person's right hand always alludes to the Holy Torah. What do our sages always teach us? That when it comes to the evil inclination of sexual immorality, the only way to deal with this evil inclination is through Torah. There is no other way for a person to contend with the evil inclination of sexual immorality. Our sages tell us this, and there are many hints to this matter. It is written, and we have heard this from many righteous and holy people, that specifically a person who has a strong desire for sexual matters has the power to innovate new insights in Torah. There are many hints to this, and many, without wanting to elaborate, many conceptual approaches through which this can be understood. But only through the Holy Torah can one overcome the evil inclination of sexual immorality, of forbidden sights, of forbidden things that battle a person. The only way to overcome this difficult, harsh, and powerful thing is through the study of Torah. A person who engages in the Holy Torah protects himself from all these things. It is written in the Rambam, "And you shall not stray after your hearts and after your eyes." We know what it means. And you shall not stray after your hearts and after your eyes. It is written in the Gemara that at first the eyes see something, then the heart desires it, and then the person acts and actually sins. So we need to ask, if that's the case, why is it written, "And you shall not stray after your hearts and after your eyes"? According to these words of the Gemara, what should have been written? The opposite, "And you shall not stray after your eyes and after your hearts"? The order is reversed. Straying, seeing certain things, begins with the eyes, then the desire moves to the heart, and then the hands commit the act. Why is it that in this verse, the verse that warns about these things, it's written in reverse and not after your hearts, and after your eyes? It should be the other way around. After your hearts, and after your eyes, and after your hearts. But what do we know that the Rambam writes? The Rambam writes that the evil inclination for forbidden relations only rules over someone whose heart is empty of Torah. A person whose heart, if he is empty of Torah, he is someone over whom the entire terrible evil inclination can rule. But a person whose heart is filled with Torah, a person who studies Torah, the evil inclination for forbidden relations cannot rule over him. So what does the Torah tell us? Don't think that the moment you started looking at forbidden things, that's when your downfall began. No. When did this moral decline start? It started as you emptied your heart of Torah and lessened your study of it. And by not studying there, you already guaranteed your own downfall. If you had been studying, you wouldn't have fallen into forbidden things. Thus it is written, do not stray after your heart and eyes. First comes looking, then straying and removing one's heart. When one is not attached to or studying Torah, that comes first. It's not first the eyes and then the heart. Yes, in the end, it all starts with the heart and then the heart that is empty of Torah. It causes a person to sin and to do the wrong thing. But really, how is it supposed to be? Really, what is the beginning of the sin? What is the beginning of a person's deficiency? What is it that guarantees a person will sin? When a person causes his heart to stray from the Torah and he does not study Torah but does other things, in that place the damage begins and that's where the difficulties start. Therefore, and you shall not stray after your hearts and after your eyes. First of all, do not stray after your hearts. That is, turning your heart away from the Torah. And after that, after your eyes, when the eyes see forbidden things and the person comes to commit transgressions and difficult things. So what do our sages teach us? Every time the evil inclination of forbidden desires confronts a person, only Torah is the one thing that can defeat it, the only thing that can overcome it, and the only thing that can drive it away and remove this evil inclination from a person. What is the second thing our sages tell us? Our sages tell us that if there is an evil inclination that comes to fight a person, if there is a non-Jew who poses a threat, who is in danger of harming a person with a stick, with a staff, how should one defeat him? How can one overcome him? How can one make it so that he does not harm a person? That he should be on the left side of the person, be on the left side of the person? Let's pay attention for a moment. What kind of evil inclination is this that fights a person? With a stick, as we said, every time the Talmud or our sages mention non-Jews, it symbolizes and alludes to the evil inclination. What kind of evil inclination is it that fights a person with a stick? If you fight with a stick, it's a two-sided battle with a stick. What kind of evil inclination do we find that the people of Israel fought with a stick? So the Midrash tells us that when Abraham, our father, the patriarch of the nation, was a small child, his father Terach used to sell idols. That was Terach's job. He sold idols. He was a man who had a shop with many idols, many types of idolatry, all kinds of idols and objects that people would bow down to. And Abraham wanted to fight against this creation. After a long time, when faith had matured within him, Abraham, our father, wanted to make his open battle against idolatry public, against the creation of idolatry. How did Abraham, our father, begin his fight against idolatry? So the Midrash states explicitly, he took a stick and smashed the idols. The Midrash states explicitly, he took a stick and smashed the idols. What do we see? What is the way a person fights against the evil inclination of idolatry? What is the matter of the evil inclination of idolatry? A stick. A person fights it with a stick, and it also fights the person with a stick. A stick is the way the evil inclination fights with a person, the evil inclination of idolatry. What is idolatry? Heresy, doubts about faith, questions about faith, all these things. That is the evil inclination of idolatry, the evil inclination of the stick. What does the Torah say? In what way should one fight the evil inclination of idolatry, of doubts in faith, of heresy? A person should place the evil inclination, the Gentile, which is the evil inclination, on his left side. What is the left side of a person? We know that we put the tefillin on the left arm. We know that there is a difference between the tefillin of the arm and the tefillin of the head. Our sages tell us that the tefillin of the head corresponds to investigative faith, to intellectual faith, where a person investigates and contemplates with his mind. Just as many of our sages did, who, through investigation, through wonder, through questioning and complexity, examined faith, examined the existence of the Holy One, blessed be He, and examined the foundations and fundamentals of the Torah. Through the path of intellectual faith and inquiry, they investigated all matters of faith and all matters of the Torah. In contrast, our sages tell us that the tefillin of the arm symbolize innocence. The heart is the innocent thing. The heart is not the thinking thing. The heart is what loves something with 100%. If it hates something, it hates it 100%. Tefillin, what kind of connection to the Holy One, blessed be He, do they symbolize? Tefillin, what kind of connection to the Holy One, blessed be He, do they allude to? Tefillin is an innocent connection with the Holy One, blessed be He. Tefillin is a connection that is 100% innocent, that doesn't overthink, that expresses itself to the Holy One, blessed be He, 100%. Therefore, our sages told us, the evil inclination that comes to a person in the form of heresy, in questions about faith, in doubts about the way the Holy One, blessed be He, conducts things. Is he right in what he does with me, or is he not right in what he does with me? Should the Holy One, blessed be He, have done this to me, or should He not have done this to me? In what way should one fight it? In what way should one respond to it? Only through simplicity. Only through complete and perfect simplicity. When a person is wholly simple with the Holy One, blessed be He. Every person accepts everything with love and submission. A third sign of guidance that the Gemara tells us is that if a person is climbing a mountain, he should always make sure that the non-Jew is below him. If a person is going down a mountain, he should also always make sure that the non-Jew is behind him. What is the hint in this? So we know many people who are advancing and serving God, many people who are drawing closer to the Holy One, blessed be He. What do they think if they become too strong? If they reach spiritual heights too quickly, enter a yeshiva, take upon themselves to study a lot of Torah, they say this is from the evil inclination, that you shouldn't do it, that taking on too much at the beginning isn't good, that advancing too quickly upward isn't good. So what do our sages teach us? The evil inclination is always beneath you, never above. Don't fear that advancing in God's service is harmful or driven by evil. It's not. As you ascend, remember, the inclination remains below you. Going down and doing less, that is what was considered the evil inclination. Doing more was never considered the evil inclination. It's the same when a person descends from the river, when a person is in spiritual decline, when a person is going down, then what happens? He might say, maybe I've already shown enough, maybe doing this act is no longer at my level. I used to be at that level, but now it's not appropriate for me to do these deeds. Absolutely not. The evil inclination is always beneath a person, never above him. The article continues, and many more beautiful things can be found in the Book of the Righteous. Blessings, success, and Shabbat Shalom.